story about evil witches disguise themselves as ordinary women and plan to wipe out all children of Earth. So the boy called Luke and his grandma plan to stop them. This movie is produced by Lorimar Productions, although Warner Bros. Bought the rights of the film after when Lorimar got defunct. This is the last movie that Jim Henson and Roald Dahl worked on, well, sort of, as they sadly passed away in 1990, the year this movie got released. Nicholas Roeg, the director of this movie, had to cut some scenes out because he showed his son the movie and he was terrified when he saw the final cut. Oh dear. Plus this movie shows a stranger danger, which are abduction, child cruelty and child murders, such as Erica got taken by a witch when being seen alone at the alleyway, Women in Black offering Luke a chocolate bar and a snake so she can take him away, the Grand High Witch spikes Bruno with Formula 86 in chocolate during off-screen, etc. This film got shot at Bergen, Norway. As for England, they shot at Cookham, Berkshire and at the Headland Hotel on the coast in Newquay, Cornwall. And I love the theme tune by Stanley Myers. I thought it was fantastic. Funny thing is, music does sound a bit like The Shining, not to mention it's set in a hotel. And ironically, at the time, Angelica Huston was dating Jack Nicholson. Jack also starred in The Witches of Eastwick. The Grand High Witch, who also goes by Eva Ernest, who's a ruler of all the witches and the most powerful witch who hates children and wants to wipe them out. And she's played by Angelica Huston. She's perfect with a role, playing the evil with horrific plans, laughing and good-looking witch. The casts were considered for the role are Cher, Eartha Kitt, Fiona Fullerton, Genevieve Buard, Helen Mirren, Anne Bancroft, Olivia Hussey, Sigourney Weaver, Linda Blair, Faye Dunaway, Susan Sarandon, Jodie Foster, Vanessa Redgrave, Frances Conry, and Liza Minnelli. Angelica's casting as Grand High Witch was Roald Dahl's favourite for the role. Mia Zetling played Helga Evesham, the grandma. She's awesome in this, playing a caring grandmother. And Yasin Fisher plays Luke Evesham, the boy of the story and Helga's grandson. The chemistry between the two are one of the best things of the movie, up there with Angelica Huston's performance as the Grand High Witch. I buy that they're grandma and grandsons. The differences from the book is that in this movie, them two got given names. In the book, those two didn't get any names, they're just called Boy and Grandma. The film's said to be Yasin's first movie performance. However, he was in Parenthood, which came out in 1989, so I assumed he filmed The Witches first and then Parenthood. Rowan Atkinson plays Mr. Stringer, who's the owner of the hotel. He's amazing. I couldn't watch him in this movie without thinking him as Mr. Bean. And 1990 is the year where the show started, and apparently he caused a disaster on set while he was preparing for Mr. Bean. He left bath taps running and leaked damage to crew's electrical equipment on the floor below. Charlie Potter played Bruno Jenkins, a greedy boy who became friends with Luke in the hotel. I thought his acting is excellent. Bill Patterson and Brenda Blethyn played Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins, Bruno's strict parents. Jane Horrocks played Susan Irvin, the good witch, Grand High Witch's assistant, who gets mistreated, and the character wasn't in the book. She was created in the movie. I love that character. Anne Lampton played Woman in Black, who tries to trick Luke by giving him chocolate bar and snake. She was terrifying. I thought casts did a splendid job with their roles. I enjoyed the backstories of the witches, I get goosebumps. And I thought the maid who cries her eyes out a lot amusing. And as for the meeting, the prosthetics for Angelica in that scene took 6 to 8 hours to put on. It looked really effective and terrifying. The scene where Bruno and Luke gets turned into a mices, I was freaked out when I was a kid. They're played by Rats and Puppets. Anthony Usbury and Dan Uston did Bruno's mouse, and Sue Dacra, David Greenaway, Brian Henson, Robert Tigner and Steve Whitemeyer did Luke's mouse. And I thought the effects is well done. The mice looked so real. It was so intense after Grand High Witch pushed a baby in the pram down the cliff. But thankfully Luke saved the baby's life, and not to mention a cat called Libshin chasing Luke. The kitchen scene made me really hungry. Thankfully Mr. Stringer noticed a fur on Maid's neck before doing anything, as I wonder what would have happened if he didn't. Yeah, stamping on a mice looks pretty gross. I imagine Mr. Bean would be like this in the film.
Lovely, isn't it? Red.
Oh yes, it's very nice.
At least the whole witches gets to taste their own medicine. And I love the idea of Luke and Helga planning to go through every countries of the world to take all the witches. I wish we'd see that. The ending seemed terrifying when Irvin was casting a spell on Luke. But hey, he's turned back into human, and I think it's a lovely ending. And it was different in the book, which is why Roald Dahl hated this movie, because the boy stayed as a mouse. Plus I'm happy how this movie ended, otherwise watching it as a kid, if it didn't, I'd find it depressing. And I do think the 1990 Witches is a fantastic movie, the most terrifying Roald Dahl adaptation so far as of time of recording, up there with the BFG animated movie, as it gave me the chills. Plus we do have a remake 30 years later with Anne Hathaway as the Grand High Witch. So there we go, that's the 3 Roald Dahl's adaptation films that are in the Children's Classic Tales DVD box set. I've been a fan of Roald Dahl stories since I was a kid. To those who are new in this video, I do movie collection analysis videos where I talk about film productions, characters, stories and the plot. No negative opinions, as I don't like trashing films, especially when I'd love to do acting and a bit of filmmaking. Hope yous have a good one, and I'll see yous in the next video.